Greetings! Welcome to the devlog for Experimental Build 4 of Update 118 of Hot Dogs, Horseshoes, and Hand Grenades. We're going to start off, as always, with a quick sound check. Make sure speakers aren't up too high. Wonderful. So what have we got for you this week? Well, we are nearing the end of the incredibly tedious process of bringing you new reflex sights and migrated reflex sights for the new systems that we've put together in this game. This week was, oh my gosh, rebuilding so many of them, adding a few more and adding a bit of nonsense. So let's actually start with the nonsense, as though it is technically a sight. It is not, it's not a reflex sight, and in fact, is much worse than the one. So we'll just grab ourselves a classic carry handle AR for this, go over to attachments, go into rail adapters. This one is entirely Ole's fault. I think he might have seen a flippant, jokey comment in the Discord and was like, I'll make that happen. And so I would like to present to you his wonderful creation, the carry handle. That is right, it is a carry handle sight for an AR-15 that mounts onto a carry handle sight for an AR-15. Just in case the height over bore wasn't high enough for you, we can go higher and higher and higher. So, if you're like, Anton, why? Honestly, I have no idea at this point. But it's in the game, so there you go. I look forward to hearing about how much you enjoy getting it in Take and Hold. There we go. There, yeah. Here. We got to at least test it here. Let's get it into place. Are we even? I can't even tell if we're lined up left or right at this point. There we go. Effective enough. Wonderful. So, moving on to slightly more serious things, we have ourselves, there's basically two categories of reflex sights to talk about. There's the existing ones that have been in the game that have gotten a remaster. Examples here, so like our PK-120, which is looking very, very nice now, actually has some reticle options for it. So we've got the circle of dots configuration for it, and we also have the classic dot bars. I'm not actually sure the FOV is 100% correct on that. I will check the math after filming this video. Wonderful. So that's in here. We've got our classics, like our holographic, actually have a cool like hollow sight effect on them, so they don't just look like just a pure color. I played around with their FOVs a little bit for it. I love that one. Our sustenance one, which is of course based on the one that is mounted to the MP7 in Half-Life 2, has like video game big reticles on it, which actually makes it like really quick to acquire, which I quite like. Wham! Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So that one's in there. What else do we got? I always forget what you are. Yeah, PK-23 is in here. Looking sharper. So much nicer to use. These new dots, I swear, just the new rendering, regardless of what resolution your headset is, because the SDF rendering, these are just so much cleaner and faster to acquire. Ooh, is that a rendering error on the front? Oh, yep, look at that. The geo is a little bit too large. We'll have to fix that. Wouldn't be a devlog without a bug. MRO is in and looking fine. Actually has a usable dial on the top, just like the scopes do, for changing your level of illumination. What else? I'm just letting them pile up here. And then we've got a bunch that are, let's grab an AK-1 here. Actually shoot a different gun. There we go. So yeah, I believe this is the OKP OSA. I always forget off the top. No, that's not what this is. Too many sights. PK01VS. There we go. That's correct. So that one's in here. Very, very low and nice. The Cobra sight has a new piece of functionality. There's actually 2 physical buttons now on the side, so you can just reach up here and very rapidly switch between your reticle styles, and you can also toggle between all of its brightness options. So we can just click that all the way up till it's super bright, and then it will loop around to being dim again. So that is just physicalized onto the site. And in terms of our new ones, we have a, whoop, that's an adapter. I've just knocked way too many of these things around. We've got, this is the MT2. So this is brand new, nice and compact. I'm a fan. We've got correctly scaled now. This is called the S2 in-game. Now actually nice, proper, you know, just great FOV. Just absolutely huge. Thanks to Stefan for the replacement model for that. Oh, and the awful game point red dot that's been the game and has just been like the wrong size, the wrong everything has been replaced. This is called the COM4 in-game. It is now correct. I have a magnifier for this. I just did not get it in-game. So this will not necessarily line up with the 3x magnifier right now, but that'll be fixed next week. Wonderful. So yeah, so we are as I said, we are nearing completion on all of these. Thank goodness, because if you're like, man, it must take a lot of time to rebuild all of these from scratch, the answer is yes. So there's a few more. Everyone say goodbye to these. You've probably seen these HoloSight models, these faux EOTech HoloSights in roughly 100 million indie games at this point. I believe they were put out by Iron Belly Studios 100 million years ago. I got them in the same asset pack that tons of other indie games people have bought over the past decade or so. They are, they're not good. They are not really the correct size. The material work at this point looks a little dated. And I have replacements for them. I didn't get them in today, but if you have any nostalgic attachment to our old Navtech HoloSights, say goodbye, because next week they will be gone, and they will be replaced. There's a bunch of other old models that I pull out. I believe there's only one red dot. It might be the OKP7 OSA that does not have a replacement right now. That's just being pulled. I'm not going to rebuild it because the model's terrible. It's not scaled correctly. I'll eventually put in a replacement, but for a little while it will be missing from the game. But yeah, everything else has gotten a remaster or an update. I now just have to do all of the ones that are integrated into guns. So, anywho, let's jump out of VR. There are a couple points of important business. Yo, out of VR. So, what else is going on? There's a whole bunch of bug fixes in this update. This was partially the update that I had wanted to push last week, but as many of you might have seen on my channel, I had basically a minor family emergency that took all of my time and energy very, very suddenly starting early Friday. In super short, some of you may have seen me talk about this on Blue Sky, but basically I had a family member, close family member, get scammed. And when I mean scammed, I mean like deep phone scam that turned into threatening action, super controlling, took them for all they were worth. So it has been a week of cleaning that up, and all I'll say is that it's awful to go through. And if you have not talked, especially if you're watching my videos, you are probably one of, if not the most technically literate person in your family. And so what that probably means is that you've got family members who don't actually know the fine line between a valid email and a scam email, a valid text message and a scam text message. And so I just firmly recommend that you take some time to talk to your family members about identifying and avoiding scams, because it can hit anyone very suddenly. And when that happens, it can be both very traumatizing and very expensive. So I'll just leave it at that. It's a thing you can do for your family today. So next thing up, I'm actually a little exhausted today because I just got back from a fantastic range trip with Dave Jewett of EXP and the Firearm Expert Reacts channel. He was in town for an unrelated influencer event. I connected with him and was like, "Hey, you want to go out shooting?" So we are out shooting this morning, shooting a whole bunch of my strange and wonderful and sometimes cursed collection. This clip here is actually him firing. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this piece. I've got this hilarious 1022 with a 3/4 scale I believe it's made of resin kit on it to make it kind of look like an MG42 if you squint. It's weapons grade stupid. I bought it a bunch of years back. I saw it on the wall and I was like, that's the dumbest thing in this store. I must own it immediately. And so, it shoots well enough. It's definitely fun. Shot a bunch of stuff. My other real favorite of my collection is a Chilean 1895 Mauser. Kicks a little hard, but just a delight. So yeah, as I said, in terms of what's going on with the update beyond the sort of the reflex stuff, my goal is basically next week to put the game into alpha for this update, as all of the systemic changes are just about done for it. Make sure that everything is compatible with modders' work. Ole and I are essentially like going to wrap up the reflex site systems, make sure that the modder folk who want to make custom sites using it have everything they need. We'll probably put together a little bit of documentation. And then get that out onto main branch, which will be just in time to do something silly, fun, and explosive for the 4th of July. So I'm going to have a 4th of July update this year. I think it actually falls. Yep, it actually falls on a Friday this year, which is perfect. So as we'll be doing something fun and explosive for that, as well as a very important announcement we'll be doing on the 4th of July. I'll let that percolate in your head what that might be. So yeah, and then what's our last piece of business is, of course, our my favorite segment of my devlogs, which is, of course, hot dog or not dog, wherein we try different things on hot dogs and we see if that in fact makes for a good hot dog. Now, H3 is a game that has quite a number of cursed guns in it. It's got cursed gun attachments. I enjoy cursed things, ridiculous things, humorous, which means I also love cursed food. I love walking through a grocery store and seeing something on the shelf that makes me stop and go, why does that exist? And so I was in the grocery store recently and saw something that just a part of my brain broke. I don't know if you folks have seen this, but there's apparently Cheetos mac and cheese. I don't know when this happened. I don't know who allowed this to happen. But it's like the Ouroboros has come back around again. And this particular flavor, cheesy jalapeno. And I knew immediately that this was the most cursed thing I've seen in the grocery store for a while. And so I was like, you know what? That would be great on a hot dog. So let's forget this cheese sauce nonsense. Let's just go right to the definition, which, as we can see, made with authentic Cheetos cheesiness. So not authentic cheese. No, just like the semiotic drift involved here. We're not talking about made with real cheese. We're talking about it's made with authentic Cheetos cheesiness. So whatever that ends up being. Looking at the ingredients, there's actually a bunch of real cheese. It's an interesting Monterey Jack, Romano, Parmesan, and blue cheeses. That excites me. Along with the just, then another like 35 food science evil ingredients. Anyway, let's just get into it. We have our hot dog here. I was asked before which kind of these are. These are called Mighty Good Dogs. I think I got them from Whole Foods. They're legitimately like a really great hot dog. So here we go. Let's dive in. Hot dog or not dog? Hot dog with jalapeno cheese, Cheetos mac and cheese on it. That... I'm embarrassed to say it's way better than it should be. It might be fighting a little bit. I kind of wish I had cut the hot dog up and just sprinkled it in with it, because with the bun here, it's kind of getting in the way flavor-wise of what is honestly just a really good trash food mac and cheese. Oh yeah. Oh, I'm gonna buy this again and hate myself. This is we're gonna just confirm again just what a hot dog this is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. This is 10 out of 10 goblin food. Right here. This gets my strong recommendation. What company makes this nonsense? Isn't even obvious. The Cheetos Company. Whoever owns that brand. Manufactured for Golden Grain Company. Okay. So yeah, should you put this on a hot dog? I mean, there's definitely like a level of self-respect that you have to cross to buy this to begin with. And then another one. Is it really any further? If you're already fine coming home with this, I feel like any moral complaints you might have about putting it on a hot dog are perhaps a ship that has sailed. But yeah, it is definitely a hot dog. So thank you for once again joining me in my journeys to just find the strangest things to put on a hot dog and just see if it's still edible. And in this case, discover, as I said, just fantastic trash food right there. A+. Anywho, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful weekend. Let me know if you run into any bugs with the H3 build, and we'll have this sucker on to the alpha branch next week. So have a great weekend. Peace.